Oh, it's a special week. We're doing 2 videos this week. We're also covering the college football landscape. And Alabama, LSU, what a game last night. Let's do this. And there's no better than time of sports right than right now. I mean, baseball just finished up. The NBA is starting. Normally you'd say the NHL is involved, but they're not here right now because they're with their own pay differences. We won't even cover that. We'll talk about that later in time when they decide to get together. We have the NBA and, of course, the NFL. I think I said that, and college football. College football is where we're going to start and where we're going to finish tonight because what a week we had this week here, especially Saturday night football. Notre Dame comes off an unbelievable comeback against Pitt. And you know what? Pitt kind of played like Pitt. I mean, they had an opportunity when you're up 20 to 6, a 14-point lead. You got to win that football game headed into the fourth quarter. And it seemed like, Pitt got nervous. And, one of the old sayings, expressions I live by, if you're scared, get a dog. Pitt could have used a dog, in that fourth quarter because Notre Dame came back, really took it to them. And offensively, Pitt, who dominated for 3.5 quarters, dominated in the run game, dominated, they did basically anything they wanted. Couldn't get anything going on offense. And then when they had a chance to win in overtime after getting a turnover there, Notre Dame fumbles on the 1-yard line. They miss a 39 or 41-yard field goal. After the kick was missed, I don't think there was anybody in the stands or anybody who was watching that actually thought Pitt had a chance to win that game again. You gave up 2 opportunities, not 1, 2, because when we were up 14, you pretty much expected to win that game. And then a chance to win in overtime. I'm sorry, I didn't expect Pitt to win that football game. So Notre Dame survives, and when you have a chance to go to play for a national championship, you're going to have games like that. You've got to win the tough games. You've got to win games that you're not supposed to win. And, Notre Dame's schedule looks pretty good. They've got BC, they've got, a Wake Forest team who might as well not even be playing football. And then they have to play USC, who USC kind of saw how far away they are from a team like Oregon, who I believe is the number 2 team in the country. Oregon's offense is phenomenal. I mean, Mariotti, he played great. Their run game was just spectacular. This offense is... What's scary about it is it's an offense that I don't believe can be stopped by anybody in the country. I think Alabama or LSU has a chance to probably deny them the most. But with that being said, I just don't see anybody stopping Kenyon Barner in the run game or anybody. I just don't see Oregon being stopped like that offensively. They really can do anything they want at any given time, and it showed against USC. USC is not a bad defense. Monty Kiffin runs it. That's Lane Kiffin's father, the guy who's a guru for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Really, created that Tampa 2 defense and really made a name and made it a staple under, Tony Dungy when they were together and with John Gruden when they were together in Tampa Bay. He's got a lot of good pieces there at USC with his son Lane, but Oregon did whatever they wanted to do against him, and that's a really good football team. I don't see how the polls can't put them higher than number 4. In my opinion, they're the number 2 team in the country, and they're going to have a lot of games to prove it against. As I stated earlier, Notre Dame's schedule kind of eases up. Oregon's schedule kind of picks up a little bit. They still got the Civil War against Oregon State, so there's some tough games still left for Oregon to play. Now, the game of the night had to be Alabama-LSU. I thought this was a game that went back and forth. We saw Zach Mettenberg really coming to his own as the quarterback for LSU. This is a guy who really, you could have put a corpse out there for the previous weeks, and they would have played better than he did. He really had a game of his life yesterday. He threw for almost 300 yards. Gave LSU a chance to win the ball game there at the end. Defensively, LSU played great. They really outplayed Alabama for 3 3/4 of that football game. I mean, there's nobody who was watching that game who can say Alabama wasn't outplayed by LSU because they really were. And, credit to the Crimson Tide, credit to Nick Saban and his football team for not giving up, not getting down. Especially when they went down in that ball game, 17-14. They could have given up. They could have packed it in. But they didn't. They didn't. They stayed strong. They stayed the course. And you know what? They played great when it mattered. And, A.J. McCarron, who I had as one of my Heisman favorites coming into the season. Led the team on a great 2-minute drill to go score a touchdown against one of the best defenses in the country and one of the best defensive coordinators in the country. John Chavis for LSU, who's been there for 4 seasons, who was at Tennessee for many, many seasons, who always has his team playing well defensively, had dialed up a great game plan, especially in that second half, where McCarron was 1 for 7. He was 1 for 7 for 0 yards heading into that final drive. And McCarron found a way to get it done. And that's what it takes. Again, I stated that against when we were talking about Notre Dame. It takes a moment like that in a season. It takes one time where you're in a game where you're losing and your back's against the wall and you're struggling, and you find a way to scratch and claw and get a victory. You're going to have one of those on your way to winning a national or playing in a national championship. Alabama had that they had that this week. So did Notre Dame. You see that in college basketball in the NCAA tournament. You get one team always has a scare. There's always a scare on your way to the path to winning a championship, especially in college sports. You find a way to get it done. And I thought Notre Dame and Alabama did a great job of that yesterday. I thought Oregon looked really good. Kansas State, they had overcame some adversity when they lost their quarterback, and Colin Klein. They were able to overcome that and beat a pretty good Oklahoma State team. Maintain their undefeated record. So all 4 undefeateds stay undefeated yesterday, but college football was really good last night. I think we're in for a really good stretch of football here. We're going to see some teams make some noise moving forward. Alabama's schedule doesn't get any easier. They got a big game against Johnny Manziel and Texas A&M. It's going to be a tough game, especially coming off. Here's a chance for Texas A&M. I know this is going to circle a little bit off the subject here. Here's a chance for Texas A&M to make a name for themselves and to really, put a stamp on their SEC berth. First year in the SEC, Alabama's coming off a really big win against LSU. I mean, a huge win, a comeback win. There's a chance for it to be a letdown game. This could be the old fox sneaking around the chicken coop and can come up and snatch one away from Alabama and really ruin their season. So this is going to be a tough game for Alabama, tougher than a lot of people may think, especially with how well A&M's offense has played this season. So that's our rant, our discussion on college football today, this week. We're going to have a lot more to talk about as we move forward, as we get closer and closer to bowl season. We'll also have some coaches who are probably going to be without jobs in the next year. We'll also cover that at some point in time too. So that's our weekly roundup, edition 2 for this week. And we'll see you guys next week.